Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name's Dave, and I'm joined today by Nathan.
Hello!
Nath, you're going to tell me 5 reasons you love Control.
I do love Control.
We both had a little play of it at E3.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely not enough, but it was enough to whet my appetite.
Right.
I thought you'd like to know.
For the game. No, it's a third-person shooter from Remedy, the makers of Max Payne back in the day.
Yes.
And it's a very original game in every sense. It is an original game. It's not a sequel to anything. And also, the style of it is very, very unusual. So I have picked out 5 things that I particularly like about it, Dave. Number 1, the setting, the oldest house. Look at it.
That doesn't look like an old house.
Well, it's like a brutalist skyscraper in the middle of New York. And what it does, it combines a few things that I really like. So it's set right in the middle of like this kind of a literary genre called the New Weird.
Right.
Which is, like Weird was like a sort of a pulp genre along the same lines as sci-fi and fantasy. New Weird has kind of elements of those kind of cultish things, strange, unexplained things, but with kind of rooted in reality.
Yeah.
So you might think of Annihilation, the Vandermeer book, but
Love
also
that. Netflix
movie. And so now you have like this skyscraper. It's kind of mid-20th century sort of brutalist, and within that, like there's a government organization, and look, there's a kind of a federal sort of bureaucratic kind of look to the rest of it, and they fuse the two, so it's kind of grounded but sort of weird as well. And because of the events of the game, the building is, as you can kind of see in this screenshot, has been sort of corrupted and is strange, and was anyway not really like subject to the normal rules of physics.
At the risk of saying nothing at all, it just looks cool, doesn't it? Like
Yes.
Every frame of this is interesting. And I know exactly what you mean about the realism fused with weird.
Yeah, exactly. And it's malleable, and there's areas in it which touch other dimensions, and they call them thresholds. And there's also objects of power, strange paranormal things, because the Federal Bureau of Control investigates them, that have been placed in here. That's what these are. Look, Unit 75, we know this was on our demo from EGX last year.
Yeah.
That man has to look at that fridge, otherwise something bad will
Oh
happen.
my god, that's so weird. I want to know about this.
And you can do this as a side mission.
Oh my god.
And also, this is a tiny bit from the gameplay that we actually played at E3.
Yeah.
He's got a thing on him called an HRA. I don't even know what that stands for, but it protects him in some way. It's a personal HRA to protect against some of the weirdness which is going on.
I want one.
Such a strange, specific thing. Okay, now we're talking about the weapon. It's called the service weapon. And that is our hero, Jesse. And what I love about this, you can kind of see, look, it's called an astral construct. These are the different things you can do. The gun has different forms itself, which means that you never have to carry around, like on this sleek, heroic form of your character. She doesn't actually have like 20 guns in her pocket.
Right, got you.
It's one that reforms, which I just think is really stylish.
It's a really cool idea.
It's also kind of Cronenbergian. It feeds right into the New Weird idea, and also, what I genuinely love, these are some of the forms. This is the pistol, Dave. This is now going into it's like a machine gun. But the pistol is a weapon. They wanted to make your kind of default form actually powerful. And I love it when games do that.
Yeah.
This one is called Pierce. It's kind of mid-range, and it absolutely smashes through bits of concrete.
Oh, man.
Another thing I love about the game is how destructible everything looks. That was a power. We're going to be talking about those in a second, called Slam, combined with Pierce. And this one, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a shotgun. And it has it packs a sort of a thumping smack. This is kind of broken out into a bit more kind of live gameplay now. The other bits were kind of taken from dev diaries. So you can kind of see how the combat works in one of the environments in the oldest house. I've got to move on already. But I was talking about powers. You get powers in the game from interacting with the objects of power which have been stashed in the oldest house. You absorb them somehow.
Right.
And one of the basic ones is launch, which you obviously use in combat all the time.
Just your basic launch.
And I don't know, you remember playing this?
Yeah.
It feels really nice.
Yeah, it does. They make it easy, I guess. That's the fun thing about it. And it's not clumsy. It's not fiddly, it's not clumsy. You feel powerful.
This is levitate. Which you can combine with launch. And this is shield.
That's good.
Which I like again, the destructibility of things. The world seems really sort of malleable again, like really you can really interact with it. I don't know if shield is going to be as powerful as it could say. I'm not sure you're able to just walk around and like nothing can ever. So I'm not really sure how there's cooldowns on these abilities as well. This one you can, I think it's called seize, but I'm not sure. But you basically can take over the minds of these people who have already been taken over,
right?
And you can make the bad guys fight each other.
Yes.
There's like a real immersive sim element to the fighting, I think, where you can kind of let the physical elements play out. This is an object of power, by the way, so this is kind of how the powers are absorbed.
It's a TV name.
Yeah, well, is it, Dave?
Oh.
That's what I want to ask you.
I see what you've done there.
And
what are those? I mean, they're people, but look at it's such a stylish game. Like, talking about the weapon and things. Again, I really can see what you're talking about with reality being fused with weird.
Well, and you've asked what they are, Dave, which is handy. I'd already edited this video. Look at how weird this is, by the way. I love it. It's such a cool image. These people have been invaded by the Hiss.
Right.
The Hiss is the bad force, which has also invaded the entire building, and is making the building contort and mutate as well. Once the Hiss is inside a person, you can't get them out.
Right.
Unlike the building itself, which you can save. So that is your job, is to go through. Your enemies are, you can kind of see how once you enter an area, it kind of activates like that. The people notice that you're there. You will kill them all, and then you will attempt to cleanse the area, and I guess you're cleansing the entire oldest house. You're also, your mission is basically to find out what has happened, and you're going to uncover the mysteries of this very strange government department at the same time.
Right.
I think the idea is that the Federal Bureau of Control deals with, kind of monitors the world for strange supernatural things, and they have kind of, like the Dwarves of Moria, they might have dug too far.
They found some.
Yeah.
Oh, they found some.
Exactly, and it's your job, and you're kind of new. You're not really senior, but you have become the director of this place. It's for a ritualistic reason. Like, there's sort of a bizarre supernatural reason that you have become the director, even though it's like your first day.
Right.
And you have sort of chosen. I think you have a connection to the supernatural from your past. And it therefore is fitting that that you're the one who will end up investigating this. It's like fate or something, Dave.
Who will leave these gas canisters about when there are people with telekinesis powers? Honestly.
I know.
Accident waiting to happen.
In a way, it's good though, because it's helping you to set things right in
Good point.
In the Federal Bureau.
As long as no one else has any powers.
Well, we'll see. I think.
Yeah. Yes. There's always a chance, isn't there?
There is. The last thing that I want to talk about isn't really part of like any of the gameplay. It's this particular character.
Right.
Which is you met him.
Yes.
When you played the game.
Yeah.
He is the janitor. Artie. What I like is AverMedia are Finnish. They're from Finland. And this character is like this incredibly nihilistic guy. Really, and he comes out with these, but I had to look them up. They're all weird Finnish sayings translated mostly into English.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's getting you to work, even though you're his like super boss. Very small, couple of hours job. And he says, "You think there's a dog buried in this?" That's a Finnish saying, and it means there's more to it than you think. I could tell you are not yesterday's grouse's son, which means that you're not gullible.
That's cool.
And then he jokes that you'll make him a great assistant.
Nice.
Disappearing like a fart in the Sahara. Pokele, I think, means devil.
Okay.
So he maybe is referring to you as a devil, but I don't know. I don't really understand how that's used and what the sort of context of it is. And my favourite one is he says that you're going to have to. Oh no, I do like this. The crisis is going to be like last winter snow. Like, we can forget about it.
Right.
But this one, you better go nice. You don't have to run with your head as your third leg, which means to run very quickly.
Wow.
Which I just like, and I like it fits so completely with what they're doing. In terms of, I love the oldest house. I love that it's in New York, and I love the kind of the clash of the mid-20th century kind of bureaucracy with new weird. I think that's going to work. I'm down for the supernatural. I'm down with the gun, and the idea that you've got this strange, like, big personality, odd guy, coming out with Finnish sayings there, just really seems to fit. And it obviously is like really characteristic of the studio, which is itself.
Yes, indeed. I think most of all what struck me there was just how almost any still frame from that gameplay was like just incredibly intriguing and like concept art from a book I want to read.
Do you know, I think if you're going to make just an original game and blank slate, then why, it's a great opportunity. You're not held back by like what you've done before, or like translating things from a book or from any other medium. I love that they have taken that license to make it really aesthetically interesting.
Me too.
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Dave, it's out at the end of August.
I know.
There'll be more of it on the channel before then. Do give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. Let us know what you think about Control in the comments. Hit the notification bell. That's always nice. And we'll see you soon.
For the players.